Hello, um, welcome. Thank you for clicking on the video. Um, I appreciate, and please do like and subscribe to the channel today as we have a lot to talk about. So today I want to talk about the proper use of ChatGPT. I've seen a lot of cases where people struggle so much to use AI and they don't know how to use it in an organized way because ChatGPT, just like any other search engine, but it's not just a search engine. It's more, there's more to it. So it's not like Google, where you can just say, hey Google, give me the name of this, or this, give me the meaning of this word. But ChatGPT can help you. It's like an assistant. You help you build a whole project. You help, but you have to know how to query it. You have to know the steps to take. So that's what I want to do today. And so the first step is, you don't have to download. They have ChatGPT where you can download a desktop version or a mobile version, but you don't have to do that. For me, I just simply go to my browser and type GPT, and you go to GPT, and usually the first thing you need to do is to create an account. You need to create your account. So the easiest way is to use Federation. Use your Google account or maybe your Gmail to just create it, so that way it's linked to your Gmail. It just depends on what you prefer, or you can create a new email completely and use that to log into ChatGPT. But then once you do that, it brings you to the GPT page, where you're gonna see, on the upper left corner, you're gonna see all this, whether you want to start a new chat or library apps. You have different apps, and stuff like that. But for me, as a technology professional, I build projects, different projects. As you can see here, I have different queries that are, just different charts, different queries. All the different charts are stored here because I have an account. So anytime I want to go back, it's almost like a repository where you can always retrieve what you have done in the past. So every time I want to go back, I can just go back and click. I say, hey, SLA policy for metrics. I click it, I'll read it, and stuff like that. So I don't have to query all the time and stuff. I can just go right back. And my main focus today is on the project. So under project, you have new project, and you can see just a few projects that I've created here that I'm working with. So for me, anytime you want to start a new project and you need ChatGPT to be an assistant, you want to work with ChatGPT, just like you collaborate with co-workers at work, just like you collaborate with anybody to build a project, you can use ChatGPT. I mean, you can even create more than one agent, just like agentic AI. You can even create more than one agent. By the first step, you go to new project. You can put the name of the project. So yeah, I can just say learning, learning how to use chat, yeah, chat GPT. You see, so that's my project name. I'll create the project, and you see, that's a new project have been created. It's almost like I've created a new repository. So everything I'm gonna do about learning how to use ChatGPT will be stored in this, under this project. You see, so first thing I can do is to explain to my agent right now, like, hey, this is how I wanna this is what I want to do. I want to learn how to use ChatGPT, or let me show you what I'm saying. I want to learn how to use ChatGPT. Use ChatGPT. So that's just a short query. You can give it more context, constraint and stuff like that. Like, what are you interested in? Are you interested in using it to be a project, or just for queries or stuff like that? But if you're gonna have to learn how to use ChatGPT this way, that means you are somebody who works on whole projects, and you need some kind of assistant, to collaborate with. You see, so I'll go ahead and give it a little more context. I'll say, I want to learn how to use ChatGPT. Give me step by step instructions to give me step by step instruction to using ChatGPT to build a project. So this is better, and after this you can either click on the black send prompt right here, or you can just hit enter and see what will happen. You see, so ChatGPT says, I'll give you a practical workflow. Usually, in technology, we call this a workflow, just step by step. What step you have to take? Oh, step one, do this, step two, do that. That's a workflow, and that's where, usually automation comes in. Because once you have this workflow, you can just repeat it all the time, the dry process, where you don't have to repeat yourself. They call it dry. Don't repeat yourself. So I'll give you a practical workflow you can reuse for your do or don't app, portfolio side, or ETL pipeline, or any new project. You see, so ChatGPT can even remember from my account. It can remember that I've built this other project. I have an app called Do or Don't. I've built my portfolio site with its assistant. I've built my ETL pipeline and so many other projects. So that's just a few it's naming right now. And you see, it will tell you, it took a couple of seconds to think all this, to retrieve all of this, which is very powerful. And step by step, using ChatGPT to build a project. See, number one, it says start with a project idea. Tell ChatGPT what you want to build. Just like we created learning how to use ChatGPT, you can name the project and then you explain it. You see, I want to build a web app called Do or Done. Let's use a post question, vote Do or Done, and comment. Help me define the project clearly. You see, this is an example he's giving you. Then step two, ask for features. Ask ChatGPT to list what the project should include. Give me the main features for this app, including user features and admin features. You see, excuse me. Step three, to choose the technology stack. You ask for project structure, all this, because this is you have to set up your project. If you are doing anything concerning coding, or you know about project structure. Be one part at a time, so you can start from step 1, step 2, step 3, and build everything for you. Then post your errors into GPT. When something breaks, copy the full error prompt. I got this error when running Python run.py. Post the error. Explain what it means and tell me exactly how to fix it. You see. So this is the proper use. Ask ChatGPT to review your code. You paste it right there to make sure that it is, because even though ChatGPT is giving you the code, but you still have to know how to use and the proper use of, because a lot of people do what they call today vibe coding, but when something breaks, they stop right there. They get stuck because you cannot continue if you don't know how to know the error, if you cannot figure out where the error is coming from, because ChatGPT will give you the codes very fast, very quick, but then there might be something, there might be a mistake in the variable somewhere. As you are continuing, you have to know how to do this. Then ask for testing steps. You have to test to make sure this is gonna work very well, because ChatGPT 2 is retrieving and is doing different things at the same time, so there's usually a very large room for error. So you have to first understand coding. You have to understand what you're doing before. ChatGPT is just assisting you. It's not doing everything for you, and that's where a lot of people fails, because sometimes you spend 1 week building a big project, like a lot of junior developers do today, where they try to build like a SaaS application, and they'll start building this application and go all the way maybe for a whole week or 2, and then they get stuck somewhere. Now the code base is so large that they cannot go in and be able to find out where the error is. You see, because they were not testing, along the line while they were building. So now they are lost. So they just end up, shredding everything, trashing everything, and start another project. And then when they get stuck again, they trash everything, So you never go nowhere. You never finish building a good application, and you never finish the testing process, and you never deploy it and start using it as a real app, that people can benefit from. You can even make money from, or sometimes you just want a reliable application that demonstrates your skills and stuff, so you can put it out there in your portfolio, for employers to see. Or sometimes you can succeed to build a simple app, but when once you go to an interview and they try to interview like, oh, what is this or that in the app, then you are completely lost, and they'll figure out that, oh, this is all AI, you see. But you need to know first how to code. So even though GPT is here to help you, but first you need to learn the basics of coding. If you are using Python to build applications, you have to learn Python, basics of Python. You have to learn function. You have to learn how to write classes. You have to learn different things. You have to understand Python very well. If you are using Java, then you have to learn Java. You have to know object-oriented programming. You have to know those things, so that while you are using ChatGPT to help you, to save time. It helps you to save time and stuff like that, and it also helps as a collaborator, because sometimes you might be strong in one part and you're not strong in another area. So that's where GPT, like for me, the reason I use ChatGPT a lot is because I'm stronger in the Python part, but I was not very strong when it come. I had not deployed apps on Azure cloud and AWS and stuff like that, so I needed GPT to help me configure my app so I can deploy them. And yes, it came in very handy, you know. So yeah, so you ask for GitHub steps, basically it tell you what to do, how to initialize a repository and stuff like that, create a repo, then link it to the remote so you can start, adding your project on your GitHub. Then you can also ask for deployment after you have built. You start to deploy, your app. You don't have to be finished completely to deploy, because you can always set up CI/CD, continuous integration and deployment, So once your app is good enough, at least you have built the basic, framework, the basic foundation, you can go ahead and deploy. And then the rest, you just, since you have GitHub, you can use GitHub Action or whatever you are using to deploy. Maybe it's render, or if it's AWS or Azure App Services, you can always, continuously deploy. Anytime you add a new feature, you deploy, Yeah, so you see, that's it. The best way to use ChatGPT is just use this pattern. This is the workflow. I'm building a project, whatever the app name is. I'm using, you say, the tools. So if I'm using Python, I say I'm going to use Python, I'm going to use Flask. I want to deploy it to AWS or Azure. Then I've already completed, the current program, what you have completed already, or if you have not completed anything, you want it to help you to start up the project, you go ahead and say, so what do you want to do next? What is the next step you want to take? Oh, I want to prepare my environment. It will tell you, oh, what do you want? Maybe you want to use VS Code. It will tell you, okay, go to VS Code, open VS Code. It will tell you to start, open a new terminal, create a new folder, and create these files and stuff like that. Give me step-by-step instructions and code if you want. Sometimes you just need help with the whole structure. You might be able to code your own stuff, but if you need that, you do it. You see, so this is one example. I'm building the do or don't app using Flask, PostgreSQL, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I already have login working. I want to add, edit, and delete post features. Give me step-by-step instructions and code. The best way to use ChatGPT as a project assistant. So this is it. This is GPT, and now you have all this. If you can work today and you're tired, you say, okay, I'm done today, you leave it, and you come back the next day and you continue from your repo. You see, it's gonna be easy. So this is a proper use of ChatGPT. Thank